WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. Here I am tasting rare and exotic whiskeys, and today I have the Rowan Co 2019 limited edition cask strength Irish blended whiskey with 59.1%. This is whiskey base number 144415, and it's over here in Germany exactly €40, 39.90. Now this appeared in Germany very recently, and about 20 different online shops have it. If you actually go to the Celtic Whiskey Shop in Dublin, they also have it, and they have one of the shortest descriptions I have ever seen for one of their whiskeys. Basically, they say it's a 2019 limited edition, they say it's cask strength, and they say it has a very light aroma. Now, this color is very, very, very light for a whiskey. There's no mention whatsoever of any type of coloring, which I applaud. Now, I visited Rowan Co as a distillery in November of 2019. They just opened up in 2019, so they don't have their own stock. The stock is taken from somewhere else. And there, I bought the, I used to say distillery only, but that's not true. It's the Ireland only, I think is what it's called. This is the... I like this bottle, by the way. Yeah, this is Curator Series number 1. I have bottle 2312. Here, I don't have any bottle. It just says limited release. And 59.1%. Aged in bourbon casks. Here we have the, it's a blend. This is very, very nice. So, 46%. Now, I paid, and you can still see on the bottle here, €52 for this. Maybe it will focus. Yay, it did. So, I'm going to give myself a nice little pour. Of course, you always have the nice little tree here in front of the windmill. Now, let's talk about this company, first of all. So, Rowan Co is Diageo. So, Diageo traded off... Can't pour and talk at the same time. I'm sorry. Matt from ADH Whiskey would really, really sympathize with me, I think. And they traded off Bushmills for a tequila company down in Mexico, and so they were totally without a brand of Irish whiskey. So what did they do? They built a new distillery. Where would you build it? Naturally on your own property. What property does Diageo have in Dublin? Guinness, exactly. Guinness is actually Diageo, right? Yeah. And so what did they do? They took an old power station, converted it into a distillery, left a little bit of the old part in there, so when you're in the bar downstairs and you're after the tour, you can take a look at that, drinking your cocktails. They don't have any real whiskey they sell there. They just do cocktails. Even during the whiskey tour, it's still cocktails you make yourself. Well, you know what their brand logo is, and so the question is, why do they actually bring out this bottle? And this is the question I'm going to ask myself a few times, all right? So let's nose this, 59.1%. Just recently, I had the opportunity to watch a live stream from the Whiskey Crusaders. Hey, Matt, love your show. And he was actually at 1 a.m., and it was for me 8 in the morning, so I was eating my frosted mini wheats while I was watching his show. And they started talking a little bit about Irish whiskey, and this guy pulled out, one of his other guests on the show pulled out this single cask from Irish whiskey with 56.7 or something like that percent. He was like, ooh, isn't this great? I was like, no. I've tasted so many different Irish whiskeys in my life. I know that higher proof by Irish whiskey does not automatically convert into better taste. With bourbon, more often than not. Yeah, the higher the proof, the better the taste. With Irish whiskey, anything above 50% can get a little tricky. Anything above 55% is almost destined not to work. Unless it's a Redbreast 12-year-old cask strength. That's a magical beast all of its own. Okay, so Rowan Co is Diageo. Diageo used to own Bushmills, so they have a lot of bottles and barrels still left of Bushmill products, which they now use for this. Now, I don't know if they're getting the grain from Bushmill as well. There was actually a interesting event that they did for VIPs of Diageo. They had a 2008, they had a 2006, and they had a 2015 whiskey that they blended together during this event. 2006, 2008 was malt, and 2015 was the grain. And they took about 60 to 80% of the grain, and they added a little bit of malt, and ta-da, they had something very similar to this. All right, so this is very young. I do want to show one other thing here about the color. So I'm going to have to do this. I'm sorry. Look at that difference. Isn't that amazing, the difference here? Now, I'm not sure if this is colored or not. I'm going to say yes. But still, wow. So, the nose. Vanilla, malt, alcohol. Maybe a tiny little bit of a pear. Vanilla, malt, alcohol. Over here, oh, this is so much better. I actually like this. I've had some Middleton. I think it was a 2018 Middleton. This would almost be better than that, and that costs almost 200 euros over here, and this is 52. This is something you can buy at the airport. This is something you buy at the Celtic Whiskey Shop, but you can't buy it outside of Ireland. At least I haven't seen it anyplace outside of Ireland available, not over in Germany. All right, let's try this. 59.1%. Wow. And I didn't choke on it. This is just taking the breath away. This is terrible. Okay, question of the day. Diageo. Question of the day. Rowan Co. Why did you make this whiskey? What's your purpose? If your purpose is to prove that Irish whiskey can taste incredibly hot and nasty, you've done your job. This is not a great representation of anything Irish. I've tasted hundreds of Irish whiskeys. You can look at my German channel. You can just type in Irish whiskey. You'll get literally 100 different listings of reviews. No, this is so young. This is so hot. This is so almost like a grappa. What were you thinking? This... Nice, fruity, lively, sweet. A little bit of cinnamon in there. It's actually nice. I can imagine this in any drink in the world and it would be an improvement. You put this in that, I don't know what you're trying to do. Kill it? All right, so it's 59.1%. Let's take it down to about 43%. This is actually bottled at 46%. Well done on this one, by the way. Excellent, excellent bottle. All right. As I said, this is 40 euros over here, so I don't know if it's going to make the States or it's going to be in Ireland, only in Germany. Who knows? All right. On the nose, once again, you get a light vanilla, very light touch of vanilla, grain, alcohol. And a touch of clove. Just a sprinkle. But it still smells reminiscent of a grappa, of an aquavit. Those are very young alcohol production processes. Grappa would be more of a Italian. Aquavit is more of a Scandinavian type of white spirit that's usually sometimes aged for a very short time in barrels or not. But it's a very, very clears your throat. It's like a pipe cleaner. Clear up the system here. Harsh, young. Ugh. Oh, wow. I would much rather drink normal Jameson. Jameson is better than this by far. So, once again, my second question again, what were you thinking? What is the purpose of this liquid? What is the purpose of this bottle? I'm going to give this an F. I used to give a lot of Fs to very young German whiskeys, and I stopped reviewing them. Just like, oh, again, a German whiskey, terrible. All right. An A is, why haven't you bought it? A B is, buy it. A C is, you can buy it. D, you don't need to buy it. F, why was this stuff even made? My question is, why was this stuff even bottled? I'm sorry, whoever created this, they need to, in my personal opinion, do better next time. Let's just keep it at that. All right, my question of the day is value for money, F, fail. My question of the day is, what whiskey would you consider a fail? Now, I'm not talking about, I have a friend, he has a liquor shop, and a lady came in after buying a bottle, she came back a week later and says, my husband says this whiskey's gone bad. And they said, okay, let me take a look at the whiskey. They sniffed on it, they poured it and tasted it. It was like, this is perfectly good Artbeck. She said, no, a whiskey should not taste like that. It should be honey and sweet, and this was just nasty. It's gone bad. And it didn't go bad. It's just a different type of whiskey. I just love that story. So the guy at the store gave her a different bottle, a little bit cheaper, and she was happy. She went home, gave it to her husband. Everything was okay. He used the bottle for an in-store demonstration and so on and so on. Good job. Now, it's a little bit of honey, a little bit of sweetness in there, but the whole alcohol, bite, burn, dragon's teeth that bear down onto your soul just doesn't cut it all for me. I'm so sorry. So, what whiskey was a total, not just disappointment, but a total bust in your opinion? I'm sorry. I do like Rowan Co. I do like their system. I do like their policy, but I don't know what Diageo was thinking with releasing this bottle, at least in Germany and in Ireland. Okay. So, thank you very much for watching. I ranted, I raved, and hopefully next time I'll have a much better spirit in my glass. Dislike if you want. I don't care if that's also your opinion. Write down your opinion also to this if you've ever tasted it. And please tell others about this crazy guy over here in Europe tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Thank you very much. All the best. WhiskyJason at gmail.com. Complaints here, please. Yeah? All right. Bye-bye.